Like, I was driving, I was looking at other cars on the road. Like, well, I feel crazy.
That's crazy that you say that because a lot of people like, dude, I waved at you, dog.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Hey, I'm not going to lie.
I'm focused. I don't care.
When I'm driving, I don't see nothing around me other than...
I can't afford to get pulled over for nothing. I don't want to pay no tickets, no nothing, dog. So I obey the law.
Hell
you know what I'm saying?
You'll never take me alive, coppers! No, Johnny, don't do it!
The only thing I don't do is I don't wear. Sometimes I'll be wearing a seatbelt.
I wear my.
And
but your windows are dark, so you really can't tell.
Hey,
unless you get up close.
I thought I was slick one day. I got pulled over for that one time. I just seen him turn around.
Yeah,
I just reached over and pulled it, and then I held it. And whenever he pulled me over, I just clicked it in. He came to the window. He's like, "Hey man, why are you barely putting your seatbelt on?" That's how you see me. It was like, I saw you.
How you gonna say how you see me instead of like?
I guess because from the back of the car they can see me like.
Dude, your windows are dark, dog. Man, he didn't see you nothing.
That's what he said.
Presumed,
he just assumed,
or assumed.
He just assumed that I put this. We were both in the wrong.
He said, "Yeah, I did."
How you see? Just admitted guilt right there, dog.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on, late night family?
Yeah.
Hey, we back in the building.
It's been a while.
Coming to bring you another exciting episode of Late Night Conversations with Unc and Nephew. I am your host, King J, also known as Nephew. To the left is the cause.
JR, Big
Man,
Unc.
what up, Big Unc?
Shit, nothing.
What's good with you, dog?
Shit, we got some rain.
Man, nice rain, huh?
Yeah.
Good rain.
I seen your yard looking good.
You know what I'm saying? I've been working on it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get it right.
I hope you get the backyard right, because that's where you're going to be most of the time, because the front is where the sun's at.
Hell yeah. I didn't worry about the backyard last year because nobody could see it, except for the garbage man. Every time we pass by, I'd be like, damn, the yard sucks.
But your kids are bigger now.
Yeah, I know.
Put a pool back there with them, or
pool,
some swings
swing set. That's kind of, I want to do a trampoline, but I can't tell my insurance about it.
Oh, that's part of your...
I think so. Then they said, no trampolines. I said, well, don't come by. Nah.
Yeah.
But man, speaking of rain, man, we have been getting a lot of rain.
We have.
And today's episode will be perfect for a rainy night. Because we got a creepy pasta for y'all tonight. Y'all, we haven't done a creepy pasta in a couple episodes.
Right.
And I got
if I think I know what it is, y'all in for a ride.
Dog, y'all are in for a treat tonight.
Man.
I got a super dope creepypasta. It's going to be a long one, so y'all strap in for the ride. But before we jump into today's episode, I just want to say thank y'all. Every single one of y'all who have watched the podcast, who have tuned in. Me and Unc got some exciting news.
Yep.
What is it, Unc?
Spotify.
What do we do?
1,000 downloads
We
already.
hit 1,000 downloads. Round of applause for 1,000 downloads.
We waited for so long, and it finally came.
That's a big milestone for us, man. Yeah. Like I said, we're not the biggest podcast in the world, man. So simple milestones like that mean so much to me. Of course it does, man.
You know, because we constantly hear from them.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a email or text or out in the street. You know.
Just people that we meet from day to day.
Yeah.
I mean, people are enjoying the content, man. Yeah. And, man, we can't thank y'all enough, man. 1,000 downloads for us is huge. And so we just want to say thank y'all so much. Every single one of y'all that have supported us, we really appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without y'all.
Right.
And we hope that we continue to do this for y'all so that way y'all can keep tuning in, keep getting enjoyable content, whether you're working, chilling at the house, and on a rainy day. Man. Cut us on, man. We got some scary stories. We got some good true crime. So, man, thank y'all again. We just want to say we love y'all guys. We can't thank y'all enough. And we do appreciate it. If this is your first time watching the Late Night Conversations with Unc and Nephew podcast, we just want to say welcome to the Late Night family. Right. We hope you enjoy your time with us. And if you do us one simple thing. Hit that follow button, and that's wherever you're watching that, guys. Whether that's Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Podcasts, iHeartRadio.
I don't know, Sirius XM,
wherever you get your stuff stuff at. We're on all platforms. So hit the follow button, man, to keep updated with us for every time we drop an episode, especially on YouTube as well. All our YouTube gang out there. Man, thank y'all for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you did hit that subscribe button, tap that little notification bell. Matter of fact, punch that bell right in the nose so you get notified every time we drop a video. Yep. And that's every other Friday. So we just want to say again, guys, thank y'all so much for that big milestone that we achieved. We love y'all guys, and we hope y'all enjoy the rest of this episode. So let's jump right in. So, Unc,
we ready?
I got something super dope for you.
Something that I know? Or
no,
heard?
You probably have never heard this before. Now, I have told a creepypasta similar to the area that we're going to be in.
Okay.
So, do you remember creepypasta episode we did in a mall?
Oh,
Beneath the mall.
Beneath the mall?
Yes.
That door?
This is another mall creepypasta.
Oh, dude.
Now, it may not be the same concept, but for some reason, malls and scary stories are scary for some reason.
Once they close?
Yeah.
I mean,
you know
who's there? I mean,
somebody's there.
You don't even realize it's time to close, and you just leave. You don't know.
But you don't know what happens after hours, right? So, dog, today's story is called "I Was Paid to Be a Fake Customer at a Dying Mall, and Something Strange is Happening in Here."
Oh man, I was paid
to be a fake customer at a dying mall, and something strange is happening here.
Well, you're not a fake customer. You're just undercover.
Exactly. What's up, everybody? It is your boy, King J and Unc in the building. Sorry for the quick interruption. We just wanted to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor for today's episode. Unc, has there been any time you getting tired of drinking these energy drinks?
I do, man.
And what does it do for you?
Make me crash every time.
Right. Gives you a little bit of energy and then you crash. Well, thanks to today's sponsor, Unc, that's no longer a problem for me and Unc. Shout out to Dubby Energy, y'all. Man, Dubby Energy is a brand new energy company. Man, it is great, man. It is blowing up on the market right now, y'all. This is completely zero sugar, 0 calorie, no crash. I mean, you're going to get jitters. No jitters. I mean, you take this, man, it's powered by coffee fruit extract, man. It's going to give you that boost that you need to get you through the day, but it's also not going to give you that sluggish feeling in the afternoon. It's going to carry you through the day. Man, me and Unc love it.
It also gives you mental alertness.
It also works, and that's something that Unc has been asking about.
Exactly.
It's going to improve your cognitive abilities, keeps your mind sharp while you at work. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, man, y'all go to Dubby's page. That's Dubby, D-U-B-B-Y, and use our code LATENIGHT24 and get 10% off your first order. So yeah, guys, y'all go get some because it is selling like crazy. Amazing product. So, yep, shout out Dubby Energy. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast. And, man, let's get back to the episode. So, my life pretty much derailed back in spring of 2022. This is when the downward spiral, so to speak, really began for me. Trust me, this is necessary context for the rest of this story. I was at a Buffalo Wild Wings watching some UFC fights with some friends and decided to cook up a harmless little parlay before the main card. I'd never gambled on anything before and only had this vague understanding of how it worked. But I had just passed some exams and was about 5 or 6 drinks deep, and the world just seemed so open and ripe with possibilities. So I thought, why the hell not? I ended up turning $15 into over $200 that night. But based on the way I was acting, you would have thought I had won $200 million. Man. The high was just that good. More visceral than I would have thought. I never reached that high ever again. Even after hitting ludicrous bets that paid out 50 to 60 times more, nothing really came close to replicating it, which was really the crux of my issues. My dumb ass just kept trying to chase it. As much as I'm sure you'd all love to hear it, I'm not going to go into a detailed timeline of my misery. Just know that it was bad. Probably worse than you're imagining right now. Man. Bridges burned, legal trouble, having to avoid calls from very persistent debt collectors, the works. The only reason I've been able to somewhat keep my head above water for so long was due to my job. It was one of those positions that paid you a lot to sit around in an office and update a spreadsheet every now and then, maybe an hour of real work a day.
Man.
I was lucky to land it, even luckier to be able to hang on to it for as long as I did. So when the consultants were hired and the fat started being trimmed, I really had no right to be as shocked as I was when I saw that notification from my manager waiting on me on Teams. I did end up with a pretty decent severance package, and you can guess what I did with it. Well, I actually tripled it the following week, betting on golf, of all things. Of course, I should have stopped right there and updated my LinkedIn, polished off my suit, registered for some networking events, but no, that wasn't going to work for me. In my head, no work meant time to learn how to become a more proficient gambler. Every night was spent diving into statistics, deep analytics, line movements, even sports psychology of all things. What's it called when you think you know a lot, but you really don't know shit? The Freddy Krueger effect? Something like that.
Oh, shit.
Things were going all right for a while. Not great, but I was winning just enough that I was able to stomach it all. But then one night, I was completely coked out and decided to place a very large and stupid bet on a certain boxing match. It flopped hard. Then, in my desperation to recoup something, I cooked up another long shot parlay on some fights the following weekend, and I'm sure you can guess what happened.
Man.
When I was laid off 4 months ago, I had a total of $45,000 in liquid savings and only $35,000 in debt. Across all my accounts now, I'm down to about $27.50. $27.50, that is.
Shit.
As for the debts, I don't even know. I really don't want to look.
Man.
My cards are all maxed out. My credit is shot. I can't even talk to my family anymore. My friends are no longer my friends, and every day there are people who look like they enjoy breaking fingers standing outside of my apartment building. Sometimes they manage to make it in and knock furiously at my door, and I just have to pretend like I'm not there. By the time I finally came to my senses and began job searching again, I had already dug a cavern for myself that was going to take some Herculean effort to scale out of. I did manage to get some interviews, but never made it to any second rounds. Maybe I was coming off as too strung out. I don't know. Side tangent. Don't you hate it when they ask about gaps in your employment? Like forget you, dog. Anyways, I have gotten an interview in a while. I hadn't gotten an interview in a while, and things don't seem to be looking up here. A few days ago, the collectors actually tried physically breaking down my door.
Damn.
They got real close, well, until one of my neighbors, this old military type, came out and threatened to shoot their kneecaps off if they didn't skedaddle. I got lucky there. I can't bank on getting lucky again. Which leads me to last night.
Man.
I was drunk off some bottom shelf vodka and decided to try a more shameful and unorthodox method of procuring funds. That method being used is AI-generated sob stories to e-beg on Reddit. Yeah, look, I was desperate. I wasn't thinking straight, I know. Of course, I wasn't sure how much I'd able to get out of it, but certainly not enough to put even a tiny dent in the total debt.
Right.
But maybe just enough to get the collectors off my back for a while, and what more could I lose from trying? I still had the effort to at least edit out most of the ChatGPT speak in the post before copying and pasting them to as many relevant subreddits as possible. Predictably, I got called out almost immediately, getting blocked from one community after another.
Damn.
But just when I was ready to give up, somebody shot me a message. I'll paste it down below. Hey there, my name is Scott. I saw your post. That really sucks, man. It really does. I've been there, and I think I can help. Now, I can't just give you this money straight up because I don't have much myself, but I can offer you a quick and reasonably trouble-free way to get some. Nothing weird or illegal or sexual, so don't worry about that. I have a friend who's head of a property group that owns a mall. You said you live here, right? I have a friend who's head of a property group that owns a mall. And the mall's located where you live, so it shouldn't be too far of a drive. In any case, you'll be compensated for fuel. So here's the crux of the proposal. You see, the mall's not doing too well. These days, I think most malls aren't, but this location for this one is just so awful that it's doing worse than the rest of them. But for whatever reason, this guy isn't quite ready to let go of it. See, it's not that he even really cares about it being profitable. He just doesn't want to get it shut down and repurposed for something else.
Right.
For whatever reason, you know how weird rich people are. Have you ever heard about mystery shoppers? It's not as eerie as it sounds. They're just people who are hired to walk around malls and shopping centers, and they pretend to be customers. That's basically what they're recruiting for, to make it look like the place still has some juice left in it so that they can delay the inevitable for as long as they can. Again, for what? I don't know. You'll be given a certain window of time in which you're meant to walk around doing your best to pretend like you actually have a reason for being there, which would involve some shopping, looking around, having a meal in the food court, etc. Once you enter the building, you'll go up to the Starbucks on the second floor, go up to the barista and tell her that you're part of the program, and she'll give you $100 cash. You can then go ahead and spend that $100 on whatever you'd like over the course of the time you're in there.
Okay.
Make sure you spend all of it. Don't try and keep it, because they will know. Once your time is up, you can simply leave. But don't try to leave early. Once again, they'll know in order to receive compensation, you'll need to be in there for your entire allotted duration. You can stay longer if you'd like, but not for a second less. I mean that literally, not even a second.
Damn it.
Compensation is as follows: $250 for each hour spent there, to be e-transferred immediately upon your departure. If my friend likes your performance, there will be an opportunity for you to come back. Let me know if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, and I'll send over some more details.
Damn, man.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly a joke, right?
Yeah.
I'm being trolled. But then I tried to think about what the punchline possibly could have been, and I couldn't come up with anything. So I pivoted to the idea that maybe it was a scam, or something even more nefarious than that. The setup tacked well enough, lure people out to somewhere remote under the pretense that they're about to make some good money, but not such good money that it seems like a glaring trap. $250 an hour for walking around a mall is just skirting that edge, in my opinion. But what the hell are they planning to do once I get there? Mug me? They know I'm broke as hell, so I don't have anything. So that can't be it. So what else do I have that's valuable? My organs? Maybe they'll kidnap me and torture me to death on the dark web. I think the reason I'm typing this all out is because I'm hoping when I read it back, something will click. That I'll be able to come to my senses and realize just how bad an idea it is.
Right.
Because right now, against all logic, I'm genuinely considering doing it. Because those collectors are pounding on my door again. This time they knocked for like 20 minutes straight. It got intense enough that I really thought they were going to give another go at breaking down the door, but they didn't. Lucky me. I've thought about spending less time here so that if they ever do storm in, I won't have to make a break for the exit, but I don't know where I'd go. Maybe the library or the gym, though. If it ever comes to a point where I'm having to do all that, it's basically already over for me.
Right.
That's no way to live. Trying to weigh everything now, do I have anything to lose besides my life? Could things get worse than they are right now? One of the people I owe money to is this guy named Renzo. I met Renzo at a bar while I was watching Canelo versus Crawford. What was that, like 9 months ago? Jesus. So anyways, I met this guy there and he was blitzed out of his head, and he told me very confidently to bet the house on Crawford. He seemed to like the cut of my jib, so I went ahead and did so. Not quite the house, but a pretty fat stack. I made him some good money that night, made some good money myself. Then we just drank and drank until things got hazy. And the only other thing I remember before waking up in his apartment the next morning, not what you may think, was my face being pressed down into cold concrete.
Oh, shit.
My clothes were still on, phone and wallet still in my pockets, and I was, my clothes were still on, phone and wallet still in my pockets, and I was just slumped over on a couch with one side of my face stinging so bad it felt like something was pulsating beneath it. Looking at myself using the camera on my phone, I could see that half of my face was red and swollen. Scratches overlapped each other like a bloody lattice. Then Renzo comes into the living room saying he couldn't believe what I did last night and how much of a dog I was. I didn't even know what he was referring to, and I still don't because I never asked. So that's how I met the guy. I'd later find out that he traffics a lot of cocaine over the border and does a lot of it himself. And that there's a small jar sitting next to his television containing several shriveled, dried up human ears that he claims used to belong to the members of some outlaw gang in the Old West. I'm sure a reasonable person would have considered these things very carefully and concluded that they might be better off keeping the distance, but not me. In fact, I did the worst thing anybody could possibly have done. I ended up borrowing some money from him. only around 3K. Maybe not a lot to some of you, but when you're dealing with this guy, it's still 3K too much. To be fair though, he was the one that had first offered it to me. He told me to throw it on him, whatever I thought I might get me some coin. And if I won, he could share the profits. I guess he was under the impression that I was some sort of master sports bettor and that I knew what the hell I was doing. I should have asked him what would happen if I lost before I accepted it. And I did lose it. All of it. I couldn't pay him back, not even a cent. I didn't hide it from him. I just told him the facts straight and clear, to which he smiled, told me, it's all right. And I had a week to pay him back.
God damn.
That week turned into a month, then 2 months. Then I just started flat out avoiding him. Wasn't picking up his calls, being very careful to scan my surroundings for any sign of him whenever I was out. Eventually, I guess he snapped and sent his goons after me. Now, here we are. The reason I bring Renzo up is because he's the most pressing issue in my life right now. The guy's clearly not going away, and if I don't please him soon, something very bad is going to happen, and I'm not going to be able to run from it. I just gave him a call, apologized for ducking him, and then asked him plainly how much money I'd need to give him at this point to square everything up for him, to call off his goons and leave me be. He told me 10K.
Damn.
And if I didn't give it to him by Tuesday of next week, he'd come up to my apartment himself, blast the door off its hinges, and that I could try leaving the city or getting the police involved, but that it wouldn't matter because eventually he would get me. And once he did, he'd skin me alive before tossing me into a vat of boiling oil. I told him okay to meet me at a bar next Tuesday at noon and that I'd have the money. Then I hung up. Now I'm really panicking. I mean, I doubt the guy has access to a vat of boiling oil large enough to toss a body into it, but I kind of believe him about the skin and alive part. 10K divided by 250 is 40 hours. I have about 170 hours before I have to meet him. I just messaged Scott back telling him I was very interested in the mall thing. Let's see what he says. It didn't take long for Scott to get back to me. He said he was glad to hear it, then asked when I could start. I told him immediately. Then I asked him how many hours he could give me before Tuesday. He told me he could maybe swing 35. Maybe. I told him I really needed 40 and was there any way we could make that happen. He said no, 35 was a hard limit, but that he could probably vouch for me and get my rate up to $265 an hour. Then I tried pushing for $285, claiming that that'd be the minimum I'd need in order to stave off eviction, basically trying to guilt him into it. It was a long back and forth, but eventually we were able to come to a mutual agreement. He then sent me an address and told me to be there from exactly 2 to 9 tomorrow. I told him I appreciated it, and he sent me the details and I sent him the details he asked me for, which was just my name, age, phone number, email, and that's it. No address, work history, social security number, literally anything else. They didn't even ask for a picture of my ID, which was convenient but also sketchy as hell. I mean, I could have been a literal bot. How would he know? So many red flags that you could supply a parade with them.
Yeah.
But it's not like I really have the luxury of backing out at this point. Maybe I could try leaving town, but I don't think I'd get too far. And I don't think it'd end well. I told him I'd be there a few hours later. He sent me another message via email this time. Hey, it's Scott. Please remember this before you go. It's really important that you do your best to act like a real customer, from the moment you step inside to the moment you leave. If anybody comes up to you and asks you, what are you doing? Tell them you're shopping or going to see a movie or grabbing lunch or just killing some time. Have a response ready and deliver it clearly and confidently.
Right.
Absolutely no acting like a deer in headlights. Just be calm, be natural, and don't think about it too much. And while you're there, don't ask any questions of your own. You see or hear something weird, just ignore it. But if you ever feel like you're in genuine danger, don't hesitate to leave. Damn. You'll be paid in full for the day. Should any incidents transpire, please let me know. Tell me exactly what happened and I'll relay it to my friend. He likes to keep tabs on that sort of stuff. Also, one more thing I should have mentioned at the start. Try to keep what you see in there to yourself. Try not to talk about it too much, but if you do, because I know you probably will, just make sure to leave out the specifics. I know it sounds contradictory, but my friend would rather keep everything contained here.
What's going on in the mall?
Good luck, man. I'm rooting for you. So yeah, not sure what to make of that, but I'm trying not to think about it. I thought about sending Scott another message asking what kind of danger I could possibly expect, but oh well. Don't bite the hand that feeds you or something. It's late now, and I'm watching Breaking Bad for the 4th time, and I have about 8 hours before I need to be at the mall. I really should get some sleep to make sure I'm mentally sharp for tomorrow, but my heart's beating pretty fast, and I get the sense that rest won't come easy right now. I looked up the address, and it does seem to be a real active place with real reviews. Nothing glaringly off about it other than the location. It's about a 25-minute drive from my apartment, and it's pretty out the way, not very accessible. I think I have just enough left in my account to fill up my tank with just enough gas to get me there and back, then that's it. So if this does turn out to be some stupid joke, then I'm really screwed. I'm done for. But I'll be screwed tight if I show up or not, and even if it is a trap and I show up and immediately get shot in the head or get kidnapped and tortured, well, at least that means I won't have to deal with a lot of annoying shit in the future. So framing it that way, it really is a win-win, and I'm starting to feel better about it all.
That's crazy.
I'm sitting in my car right now, and I'm feeling oddly mellow, more than I have in a long time. Could be a defense mechanism, my psyche trying to brace me for the unknown. Could also be the vodka Red Bull concoction that I just finished chugging. Whatever it is, I'll take it. The parking lot here is larger than I expected, about a fifth of the way full, which is surprising to me given the location. It might be a stretch to call it the middle of nowhere, but based on a cursory glance, you can make a case for it. No other buildings around, no other sign of life at all, just a desolate stretch of highway on one side and a dense forest on the other. It's about 10 minutes out of the city, smack dab between some gray industrial area and a long stretch of farmland. I cannot fathom what the target demographic here was. It's about 10 before 2, a lot of thoughts running through my head, but I'm doing a good job of stamping most of them out. In another 5 minutes, I'll head in. It's just after 8 now, and I'm sitting in the food court, sipping on the remnants of a milkshake. Not so mellow anymore. It's been strange here. Real bizarre. I'm still trying to process it. When I first entered, which I made sure to do exactly at 2, I had followed Scott's instructions and immediately headed up to the 2nd floor. Looking around the place, it seemed typical enough. There was the usual stores, H&M, Foot Locker, Bath & Body Works, Sephora, candy shops, stores selling cute but useless toys and knickknacks. Not quite busting with activity everywhere, but also not empty enough for it to feel eerie. Though it feels really weird knowing that everybody you pass by is likely there for the same messed up reason you are.
Right?
So I've been trying to avoid making eye contact with anybody. I spent a lot of time searching around for the Starbucks and eventually found it tucked away in some corner, all the way at the end of a long string of dead and vacant storefronts.
Man.
Almost like they'd made use some concerted effort to hide it. Or maybe it was just a coincidence. Don't want to get too touchy yet, but I walked inside and the only person in there other than the barista was this dude sitting at a table with a half-eaten sandwich in front of him. He didn't look up or really register my presence at all, just kept staring blankly ahead at something. I didn't know what, but I couldn't figure it out. Maybe the painting of abstract shapes on the wall, but I went up to the barista who had short blonde hair and looked to be in her 20s. I offered up a smile which wasn't reciprocated. Not that I really cared, but it did catch me off guard. It was the look on her face, like I was the scourge of the earth or something.
That's crazy.
Like I just murdered 10 puppies in front of her and then laughed about it. I was so puzzled by that. My train of thought completely derailed for a second, and I forgot what I was supposed to say. After stumbling through several half-baked sentences, it finally came back to me, and I spat it out. I'm part of the program. She sighed and rolled her eyes and asked me what I wanted to order. I just stared at her, no clue what to say, probably looking bewildered. I told her again, I'm part of the program. She shook her head and sighed again. What? You're supposed to buy something first, she told me, keeping her voice really low while staring daggers at me. They didn't tell you? I shook my head and told her, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
You're supposed to buy something and hand me some cash, and then I give you change, get it? I remember starting to get lightheaded here, thinking, was this real? Was I dreaming? So order something and then give me cash. It doesn't matter how much, just give me something. I told her that I'd have a black coffee, and I began digging through my wallet, surprised and relieved to find a crumpled $1 bill in there.
That's crazy, right?
I took it out and handed it to her, and she snatched it quickly out of my hand and dumped it on the register, then gave me back a small stack crisp $10 bills. I counted them quickly, 10 total. I turned around getting ready to leave, but then she called me back asking, did I forget about something? I stopped, turned around, and she went about making the coffee, her movement slow, almost labored. I noticed that she was working with a limp. It took a few minutes for her to finish up, and then she held out the cup, giving me one last glare as I grabbed it from her. I'd never been more glad to leave a Starbucks. Like I said, really bizarre stuff, but as I'd come to find out, this was only the tip of the iceberg.
Crazy.
I took a sip of the coffee, and it tasted burnt to hell, just completely god-awful. So I tossed it. I made my way over to one of those mall directory things. Still had a lot of time to kill, so I began pursuing the options. Eventually, I settled on heading over to the Chili's, having a margarita or 2 or 3. Yes, I have problems. I went back down to the first floor, keeping my vision squared ahead, trying not to draw any attention to myself. And at one point, I walked past a woman that looked to be in her early 60s, late 70s, and I had to wonder, was she here for the money as well, or did she just happen upon this place on her own? I almost wanted to ask her directly, but I thought the better of it. Arriving at the Chili's, I headed straight for the bar and was surprised to find most of the seats there occupied. Most lively place I had seen in the mall by far, though there wasn't a soul at any of the tables. It was a mixed group, men, women, some old, some young, all seemingly pretty drunk and glaring at me malevolently, as if I was intruding on something sacred.
Dang.
Well, I thought this was just the way it was going to be. I tried not to take it personally. I took a seat at the end of the bar, trying and failing to catch the bartender's attention. It was a youngish guy, maybe only 30s, big beard and pencil-thin arms covered in tattoos. I think it took about a full 5 minutes before he finally reluctantly looked my way. He started walking towards me, moving real slow as if he was trying to draw out the steps. Yeah, is all he said to me, his tone with cold contempt.
That's crazy.
I told him that I'd have a margarita along with a Budweiser. For a while, he continued to stare at me, his expression implying that I'd crossed some sort of line by asking to be served alcohol at a bar, at a damn Chili's. Then he took a deep breath through his nose and turned away and walked over to the liquor shelf. I watched him as he dumped some tequila into a glass, threw a lime wedge in it, topped it off with a messy splash of Sprite, spilling most of it onto the counter. Then he walked back over, set it down roughly in front of me, and walked away again. He didn't even bother with the Budweiser, and I didn't bother pressing him for it. More trouble than what it was worth, I reckon. I sat there and sipped my drink slowly, watching CNN on the television, but not really paying attention to it. It was hard to focus on anything at all when you could just feel that every single pair of eyes in the room were stuck onto you like glue.
That's crazy.
That you were the center of attention for some reason, and that was probably not a good reason. I finished the drink and felt like I needed one more to get a tolerable buzz going. I tried to get the bartender's attention again, but this time he just straight up ignored me. Just kept facing away while leaning against the back shelf, taking swigs out of a Smirnoff bottle before putting it back. Lightly swaying on his feet, the guy was plastered. At a point, it starts to become a blow to your ego, and this was about that point. I began shouting at him like, "Come on, man, can a guy not get a damn drink?" Maybe, probably with a bit of an edge in my voice, but he still wouldn't look at me. I looked down at the rest of the bar and suddenly noticed nobody else was looking at me either. It's like the entire room had suddenly and collectively agreed to pretend like I no longer existed.
Wow.
What the hell is wrong with y'all people? I shouted. Nothing against you, buddy. Somebody I couldn't see shouted back. There's just too many people in here right now. I asked out loud, what the hell is that supposed to mean? It's 5 o'clock on a Tuesday? The bartender spoke up, his tone implying that he was explaining something painfully obvious. Think about it, yeah? How busy can a Chili's get on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock? Just think about it. If we don't sell this, then nobody gets paid, so quit your whining and come back when it's empty.
Dang. First thing they told him.
Any further questions of mine fell on deaf ears. I was invisible again. I slapped one of the tins onto the counter and stood up and left the place. For the next few hours, I sort of just wandered around, my head in a bit of a daze, still not fully convinced this wasn't a dream. I went over to the food court, ate some KFC. The guy working the counter there didn't say a word to me, communicating via nothing but head nods. Then, when I bit into the chicken, I realized that some of it was still raw.
Oh, gross.
I just ate around it. After that, I went over to the Under Armour store, spent some time looking over some knockoff jackets. The labels read, Undre Armory. That nevertheless seemed comparable in quality to the real thing. I picked one of them up along with the t-shirt. Surprisingly, the lady who worked there was actually pretty nice. I actually put some effort into being an employee, or maybe she was a real employee.
Right.
After that, I was down to just $20, and I went over to the movie theater, which was completely empty, that was completely empty except for a woman who was asleep behind the box office and some guys sweeping the floors. The screen that was supposed to be displaying what was playing was glitched, completely bugging out. So I went up to the guy and asked him what was on. He just shrugged and said that it could be anything. Then I asked, how was I supposed to buy a ticket? And he said, all he needed to do was go up to the box office and put a 10 on the counter, and then I could go into any of the theaters, but to try and not wake Lindsay up, since she gets real cranky when that happens, and he doesn't want to deal with it. I parted ways with another bill, then went into the closest theater, catching about 2/3 of that last Avatar movie, the one with the fire in it. There was only one other person in the theater sitting near the front. They were there when I walked in, and they didn't move after the film had finished. I left the theater and went into a washroom, took a piss, splashed my face with cold water, and while looking at myself in the mirror, taking deep breaths. Now the anxiety was starting to break through, the fear as well. After I'd finished drying myself, the stall closest to the wall opened up. I looked over, seeing the door hanging ajar, but with nobody emerging from behind it. Through the gap at the bottom, I could see a pair of dirty white sneakers. I guess whoever they belonged to was just standing there, which was a really freaky thing to think about. And I left the washroom shortly after, looking over my shoulders to make sure nobody tried following me out. And nobody did. There were a few more odd occurrences after this. I walked past an electronics store, and this short older dude came out from behind the counter with this big smile on his face and tried gesturing for me to come inside. Cell phone, he kept saying, fix cell phone. I told him my cell phone didn't need any fixing, and his expression dropped like a stone in a lake. I watched him as he walked back into the store and rolled down the security gates and disappeared behind them.
Damn.
Then the lights went off inside. There was also this lady walking around with a metal tray claiming to be offering samples of cinnamon rolls. The cinnamon rolls in question being dollops of thick gray bubbling sludge. Safe to say, I passed on it. At some point, I had what I believe was a panic attack. Never had I had one before, but I think this was it. Tightness in the chest, an overwhelming sense of dread. I found a bench somewhere and took a seat, pulled up some breathing exercises on YouTube, and tried to replicate them. To my surprise, they actually worked pretty well. I went back to the food court and spent my last $10 on a large peanut butter milkshake from Baskin-Robbins with a bunch of chocolate bullshit blended into it. And that's where I am now, just sitting here waiting for 9 to hit so I can get the hell out of whatever the hell this place is. But I'm feeling better now, I think. Maybe it's just the dopamine from all the sugar, but I'm feeling all right, enough that I think I'll be able to get through this. Oh shit, there's a guy walking towards me now. He just sat down beside me. The good news is I'm back in my apartment now.
Oh, shit.
Mostly unscathed. The not so good news is that as much as I need the money, I'm not sure if I can go back to that place. So, about the guy in the food court. He was young, maybe early 20s, tall and skinny, brown hair cut into a short fade. Looked like a bog standard college kid. He sat next to me and he started making small talk, asking how my day had been. Was the milkshake good, etc. I tried ignoring him at first, but he seemed nice and normal and coherent enough that I started to feel bad about it. So we got to talking a bit. He told me his name was Daniel and that he used to be a copywriter but got laid off around 6 months ago and hasn't been able to find anything since. So what was he doing here? What about you? He then asked. Why are you here? Right at that moment, I felt comfortable enough to tell him the truth. I told him about the gambling, the debts, the collectors. It felt nice and cathartic airing out all my dirty laundry to a complete stranger, so I just kept on going. I didn't stop talking until my eyes drifted down and landed on the shoes he was wearing. These really worn, scuffed white sneakers.
Dude.
Okay, I thought. Could be a coincidence, and even if it was some guy from the bathroom, then so what? But then I remembered Scott's message, specifically his instructions about what was I supposed to do if somebody tried talking to me, and the realization washed over me like a cold wave. I suddenly stood up and told him I had to get going. He started protesting, telling me that I should stick around because he had something he wanted to show me. I told him I was tired and I really needed to go home. He started grinning, showing off blocky, chiclet teeth, really stretching his lips as wide as they could go and then a bit wider than that, looking really uncanny.
That's crazy.
He asked me again, what was I doing here? Shopping. I told him, just shopping. He pointed out, you don't have any bags. So what could you have been shopping for? I started scanning the floor around me before remembering that I left the Under Armour bag in the washroom. He started laughing in this jovial manner, though. There was something clearly ominous behind it. "You're not here to shop, are you?" he asked. "Then what? Why are you here?" I snuck a glance at my phone and saw 8:50. I repeated that I really had to leave, and then I turned around and started heading for the exit. To my dismay, I could hear steps pacing behind me.
Man, that's crazy.
Once I got to the doors, I checked the time again, 8:55. I turned, and Daniel, or whoever the hell he was still there, standing about a half dozen feet away. "Don't you have to go home?" he questioned, holding on to a grin. "Door's right there. Why don't you leave?" By now, I was checking my phone every few seconds, no longer making an attempt to hide it. He laughed again, said that if I was going home, I might as well come and see. If I wasn't going home, I may as well come and see what he wants to show me.
Yep.
Now the panic had returned, and I really had to force myself to stay put for just a few moments. Minutes that seemed to be stretching into infinity, but I told myself that I was ready to sprint the second he tried making a move. I started wondering who I was more scared of, Renzo or this damn guy in front of me. It came up inconclusive. As the seconds ticked down, he continued coming towards me, each request insinuating more of a threat than the last. The grin slowly twisting and fading into something more outwardly malicious. The moment that the clock hit 9, I tried to bolt, though I didn't get far. The bastard grabbed onto my collar, started dragging me back into the mall. I tried yanking myself away, but that freak had this inexplicable iron grip. It was nothing but luck that I had been wearing one of my old cheap shirts, the fabric of which was already starting to tear. I jerked myself forward a few times, and it shredded off of my back. Once free, I lunged ahead and pushed the door open, vaulting myself outside and tripping over my own feet, elbows planting hard into the concrete. A searing pain jolted up my arms, and I think I heard something crack, but I wasn't too worried about it in the moment, more concerned about making sure Daniel wasn't about to drag me back inside.
Right.
I scrambled to my feet and spun around to face the door, bracing myself for, well, I don't know what, maybe for him to be charging towards me like a bull, which he wasn't. He remained inside, his face now pressed up against the glass.
Man.
Features pancaked onto this odd, grotesque
crazy.
visage, staring at me with wide, bulging eyes, relentlessly dragging his tongue across the glass in a circular pattern.
Wow.
Like he suddenly forgot how to act like a human, or maybe he just didn't care anymore. No longer felt the need to keep up the front. I just stood there and stared back. Conceived that the second I tried to move, he would do the same. I'm not sure how long this little stalemate of ours went for, but I remember my heart racing the entire time, beating faster and faster, approaching a point where I thought I might just explode.
Crazy, man.
But eventually he did leave. Detaching his face from the glass, he spun around and just walked off. I doubled over and puked up some bile and took several deep breaths before walking over to my car, cold and shirtless, watching the sun dip into the horizon. I wasn't expecting to find that my tires had all been slashed, all 4 of them.
Damn.
My stomach dropped. Then it dropped even further once I looked around and saw that my car was now literally the only one in the entire lot.
What?
I tried calling for an Uber, but the network out there was so shit that the app wouldn't load.
Man.
I could have gone back into the mall and used the Wi-Fi, but hell no. I just leaned on the head of my car, mulling over my options, feeling a bit numb. My apartment was about 18 miles away. Theoretically walkable, but the bigger problem was I really didn't know the way. Here was a good chance that I tried walking, I'd end up in the next town over, especially in the dark, which was something I thankfully didn't have to risk. A few minutes later, the front door swung open and out came a woman, maybe in her 30s, dressed in jeans and a windbreaker. She didn't seem all too dangerous, but my expectations were up in the air at that point, so I backed away regardless. She walked halfway across the lot before stopping. Looking over at me, it seemed like she was about to say something, but then hesitated. Looking away for a second before looking back, then she called out asking if I needed a ride. I told her I'd love one, but because she first proved to me that she wasn't with the maniac that I just escaped from. She said she wasn't with him, but that she didn't know how she was supposed to prove that to me, and that she was going to wait around, so if I wanted a ride, I should make that decision soon.
Right.
I shivered. It was starting to get cold out. She never questioned why I was shirtless. I then asked her where her car was. She told me to follow her, but not before flashing the Glock attached to her hip. She said she didn't think I was a threat, but that she absolutely would not hesitate to shoot me if I tried anything. I assured her that I wasn't going to try anything. She parked about a half a mile away from the mall on a dirt patch in the forest, well hidden from the road. I asked her why she'd parked all the way out there and not in the lot. She told me the first time she left her car in the lot after 8 p.m., her tires had gotten slashed. I then asked her how long she's been working at the mall. She said she really didn't want to talk about it, that she'd prefer it. We just sat in silence for the duration of the trip.
Oh, dang.
So we did. Once we were back in the city, she dropped me off at the train station. I didn't have any cash for a ticket, but it was pretty close to my apartment, only about a 10-minute walk away. I thanked her and hopped out. Before she took off, I asked her what her name was. She just shook her head. She said it'd be pointless for me to know. When I got home, I drained the rest of the vodka in my fridge and passed out on my couch. When I woke up this morning, I checked my phone and saw a notification from my bank. I'd been e-transferred $3,000. I also had another email from Scott. Hey man, I heard you might have had a rough first day, so I sent you a bit extra on top for the promised amount. Your hours are the same for today, 2 to 9 p.m.
Damn.
And also, man, just remember what I said before. You're a customer in there, so act like it. It's about 10:30 a.m. right now.
Man.
And I'm just lying on the couch sipping some Clamato juice. Not really wanting to move, especially not to go back to that place. I spent some time trying to calculate how far 3,000 could get me. And if I skipped town and concluded, probably not very far. Then I tried conjuring up some other ways I might be able to cover the last 7,000 before asking myself, who was I kidding? I really don't want to go back there. But I know. I probably have to.
Man. That would be crazy, right? But 3 G's for
one night's of work?
But man, he went through some hell though.
Dog.
It was crazy because he broke all the rules. That's his problem, dog.
He did break the rules by talking to that dude. What was he gonna do to him though, dog? What did he want to show him?
I don't know.
That's what's dog. That's what trips me out.
I mean, was he trying to help him? You might as well just stay here.
Hell no. I don't think he was trying to help him. Because as soon as he fell out, you see he was sliding his tongue over the glass. And what the hell was that thing?
And the female with the gun?
Yeah. Why would she have a gun? She must be working there for a while now. Right?
Why she parked so far away, right?
Because she's already parked far away. She got a gun on her hip. Like,
she knows.
Could you imagine the stuff she's seen?
So as you were telling him the story, and you were like, he's swirling his tongue, on the glass in circles, man. I could just see like a demon tongue, just like crazy dog, just swirling like that, like looking at you, man, and saying, just wait. Ugh.
Now he has to go back and what if that dude's there, dog? Because that dude's probably not a worker. He's probably like a regular.
Well, he's probably the ones that take care of the ones that
don't listen.
Or the ones that break the rules. I don't know, dog. I mean,
that's crazy though, right? Imagine getting a job. Would you do this job?
Like I told you at first, I probably would until that happened. Then I don't know if I could go back.
After that encounter with that guy?
Yeah. Because I mean, he's more than psychotic, dog.
He's not human.
He's possessed.
So that leads me to a question. I wonder, what is this mall?
And why is it so far away from the town?
Oh, what about this? What if whatever he is what you turn into if you break the rules and they get you?
And maybe there's so many of those people that you just don't know who it is.
That's who the mall is. It's everybody who got the job and broke the rules. But dog, that's what I'm saying. What's the end goal?
What's the purpose?
Yeah, what's the purpose of this mall? I don't know.
Are they recruiting more demons?
It's like one of those things where maybe it's a regular mall, but there's a secret. But
I mean, you're gonna stay attached to it and become whatever, whether it's vampires or whatever, What's the purpose? That's what I'm saying. What's the purpose?
What if
is it to build their army?
What about this? What if it's the devil making a deal with you? And this is a form of a deal, like where you maybe
where was he
you make money.
Where was he going to take them?
But what was he going to show him? I don't know, dog. The story is insane, bro. Because
it's crazy because
it's crazy because imagine being that down bad. I can equate that to like, what would you do in a situation where like you needed money that bad?
Yeah, I mean,
would you be willing to put your life on the line to, you know what I mean?
I mean, he didn't know he was putting his life on the line. He just knew that you make money, but
he didn't know what it was. But see, it sounded like a scam. I mean, who's gonna pay you $2.85 an hour, dog?
But why are they paying you that much just to be a pretend
customer? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like a scam. But he's down so bad. He's so down bad.
He willing to sell his soul.
He's willing to sell his soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
don't know. At the crossroads.
Oh, dog, I don't know.
I don't know. It was a good story though.
That's a crazy story, right, dog? I mean, and this one is unlike like Beneath the Mall.
No,
like,
not like Beneath the Mall where that was like
a hidden mall.
And there was nobody, just you.
Yeah, just you and whatever creature
was, yeah.
But this one is scary, dog, because it's during the day.
Yeah.
And you don't know who's the creatures.
Yeah. Think
about that, dog.
But that's why they tell them the rules. Don't talk to nobody, just tend to yourself.
And doesn't that speak on like to me, bro, the cool thing about that is that speaks on how willing we are to have a human interaction. And what I mean by that is when you're in a building with
well,
like that can speak for mental health as well, because you can say like, you know how it feels to be in a room full of people but feel like you're alone.
Exactly. That's mental health.
He's willing to break the rules just to have a conversation.
And we were talking about that at my work.
Get what I'm saying?
How long could you withhold without human intervention?
Human interactions?
Interactions.
Right. Well, I mean, you can say intervention too. Like,
but how long could you?
How long could you go being by yourself? I mean, me and my dad have had this conversation.
How many times people go crazy because
solitude?
Solitude, yeah.
Yeah. Think about being in solitary confinement. Man. There's stories of
that's different because you're confined to something dark and small.
And you can't move. At least he can move around. Right. But imagine being in a 5x5 cell. And in the dark and nothing. Dog, I've seen stories where people say that they start hallucinating, bro. After being by yourself for so long, that you start seeing things or you start hearing things. Dog, that's scary, bro.
It is, dude, because it all boils down to your mind.
Yeah.
How long can you withhold it before the mind takes over? You know, you think
your mind
can
conjure,
but your mind can conjure up things that you have never fathomed before. Because you're like, that'll never happen to me. You see it, and you see it in a dream, and you're like, man,
we don't think that our mind is that powerful. But think about it. People who are schizophrenic.
We just saw an episode today on.
Dog, think about it. Dog, that is scary as hell. Schizophrenia, where you see people that aren't there.
And this is insane, nephew, about schizophrenia, because I was listening to music at work, and we were doing some things, and the commercials, I'm like, why would they have a commercial like this on Spotify? I'm sorry, I'm putting you on Spotify. On schizophrenia, an appeal on schizophrenia. If you know you're schizophrenic, you don't want to take pills.
Right.
But then they're throwing it out there like that. I'm like, Sophia and I were like, the fuck? You know, it makes it crazy to me that we're talking about schizophrenia and
then somehow it comes up.
It comes out, you know, before my algorithm, you know. It's like everything's connected in some way, you and I, to the story, to schizophrenia, to mental alertness, to stuff that we see on a daily basis.
Right.
You know?
Dog, and it's crazy because our minds are way more powerful than you think, bro. Like, think about literally, you could be a drug addict, alcoholic for 40 years.
Yeah.
And then one day, in your mind, you could just make up that you're not going to do it and you'll never do it again. And that's not always the case.
Yeah, that's not always the case. You know, like
what
I
I'm
quit
saying
smoking
is
7 months ago, cold turkey, just like that, with no passion, no nothing.
That's what I'm saying. See, but that to somebody else is an impossible task.
Right.
But when you're ready and your mind is made up, boom. You can literally change your
and
life.
that's what happened to me with cigarettes.
You know what I mean?
And I think it's crazy because my algorithm has been a lot lately is people that are talking are like, hey, I'm on my 847th day
of
sobriety. Hey, I'm on my 326th day of sobriety. You know, I have one chick, she's so cool, dog, and she's been sober 1 year.
Yeah.
And she's like, man, I don't care what you say about me. I don't care. I've gained weight. You know, that's what she said. You know, whenever you're addicted to, she was an alcoholic, to alcohol or to any type of narcotic or whatever, you don't eat.
Yeah.
You know,
you want meals
that high
to do
because
that.
you want that high. So once you stop, you start gaining weight, and she's not even fat, dog. She's fine as hell.
Yeah.
And real pretty white teeth, man. But
it's
crazy that we
the
hear
mind, yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of people. You know, like sometimes I'm like, do I want a cigarette? Sometimes I
Your
smell
brain will
it.
tell you that. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that smells good. But at the same time,
exactly.
At the same time, there's times that I'm like, man,
it stings. Yeah.
How did I ever smoke that? Because you smell it on somebody,
and you're like, man, that's how I used to be. Like, you know, nothing against smokers, but
not.
My dad has said that too. You know that he's been
smoke
free for a long
lot
time,
longer than me. Yeah,
and there's times that he
cologne
says
is just lasts better.
Yeah. And he says like, there's times that he'll be like, man, you know, you get frustrated and you're like, man, I probably could smoke a cigarette right now, but. You know
what is it going to do to your mind?
Exactly, it's the willpower deal, and see that's why I mean, you know, that's why I accumulated to this story is like, you know,
well, his addiction was gambling. I mean, and whatever addiction it is, it's still an addiction.
Yeah.
It's still control of your life.
Yeah,
you know, knowing that you have $50,000 in the bank, but yeah, you can't pay your debt. Yeah. Because you're trying to make more money to have more debt. Yeah. Because eventually he borrowed $3,000 and owed 10.
And owed 10, yeah.
That's insane. That's what, 70%.
Yeah, that's a sorry. That's a sorry interest rate.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it, man. This man risked his life gambling, and now he's everything. Now he's gambling his life on this job, and he don't know what he's got himself into now. And now it's like. He's
now,
like, man,
gambling is
and man, I didn't even equate this story to addiction, dog. That's crazy because now, did you see what he said at the end of the story? He said, man, I don't think I want to go back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And he said, but I know I have to.
That part of his life changed his perception of life, you know, which is life-changing events such as almost getting killed at a job that you want to get out of debt out of.
Yeah.
Because you know that $3,000 a day, nephew.
Yeah, that's.
I'm willing to risk my life sometimes. But at the same time, am I?
Exactly.
Because you don't know, like he said, I'm going to skin you alive and throw you in hot boiling oil. And boiling oil. I don't care, dog. I don't want to get burned in oil. Hell, I hate getting burned with bacon grease. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine your whole body?
Your whole body.
I mean, I know it's a story, nephew.
No,
but if it's a story, people have thought about it.
Yeah,
so
but see, that's the thing, huh? The thing about stories is the reason why we like stories is because we like to put ourselves in the shoes of the individual. How would you feel being in this man's position?
That's
why, like you said, it is a story. But when you think about it, damn, man, it's either that or this.
And that's ironic, nephew, because every story that we tell ends up being mental health.
Like a mental health thing. There's always a message behind.
A message.
Like we always find a message in the story. But man,
like this is meant because he's to the point where I'll do whatever it takes, because the deal is, at the end he said, or will I?
See,
right?
But see, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. You know, that addiction is still there, regardless of what you put your life. You know, a lot of people will have life near death experience with an addiction, such as an OD or a DUI. manslaughter, because you were drinking,
Yes.
and you killed your cousin or whatever.
Exactly.
So at that moment, they're like, I won't do this again.
Exactly.
But the following month,
they're back doing,
because their regret, I won't let that happen again.
Yeah.
Until it happens again.
Exactly. Then you might have looked out the first time.
Yeah.
But
some people have to understand that things happen like that near death, or like that girl from down south over here, Lubbock, Texas, went to jail because they told her don't drive, and she ended up wrecking, and she killed her two cousins that were in the truck, in the car with her.
Yeah.
So I mean, and those are consequences. His consequences finally came down to almost death also, because he had to make a choice. Exactly. Am I going to get hurt by the whatever the other guy's name was?
Yeah, that whatever Daniel was.
No, not Daniel.
Oh, Renzo.
Renzo.
Yeah.
Or let Daniel.
Yeah.
Which is going to be worse? Skinned alive? Or
whatever that
who
dude
knows
was.
What was going to happen to him.
And see, that's why I'm saying this whole story, I think, boils down to the fight of addiction. Because think about it, his last words were, man, I don't think I can do this anymore, but I think I have to. See, and that's what, and that's the thing. You may not want to do it, but what choice do you have?
But see, and that's the whole thing, is sometimes people be like, they'll put themselves to near death, like him, and say, is it the adrenaline rush? Well, it's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to my pops the other day about adrenaline, makes you do things. And your endorphins kick in and make you do stupid things like overbid.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, you get that's how you lose your money at the casino, dog. You get that.
You have that.
Yeah.
You got that brain cell saying there's still more in that.
Yeah, keep betting.
There's still money.
More.
There's still money in that machine, or I can beat the dealer.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, you could win $300 and you could be down to your last 20, but your brain is like, I can still hit
come
and go
yeah.
back up. That's what people.
And instead of hitting and walking away for at least hours,
Yeah.
go to bed, go see a show, and then come back. But the addiction will make you lose concert shows. Will make you be like, nah, we're going to the pool. I'll be there later.
Yeah. It'll make you. It'll keep you stuck.
You're, hey baby, can I get some more money out the bank?
Or you'll be answering to jobs on Reddit.
Yep.
To work at a mall.
Yep. and be scared, out of your
working with demons,
man.
Dog, doing something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dog.
I tell you, man, when you were telling that story, and I could just see the tongue, man, just like a serpent's tongue, dog.
Like slithering on the glass, like, well, I almost
like
had
lizard,
you,
And I know lizards just go up and can just, man, it's just
like, could you imagine that? And then he just like, all right, he walked away, and he's like, all right, you'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll go try again.
That's what he said. Without saying
it. Yeah, dog. That's crazy, man. This is a good story, dog. And it's crazy how we related it to addiction.
We have to, because, I mean, he was.
Yeah, he was addicted. But, man, I think we had a good episode.
Yes, sir.
I guess it's time to sign off, man.
Man, until next week or following week.
Or until following week. Man, thank y'all for joining us for another exciting episode of Late Night Conversations with Unc and Nephew. And 2 weeks from now.
Peace.